Hello, YouTube. This is Guy. This won't be a long video. I just wanted to kind of express my, uh, I suppose, disappointment and objection to doc dropping people. I think that I think it's rude for one thing when people are. I think people have a right to present themselves on the internet um, in some degree of anonymity, unless they're doing something illegal, of course, and then it's certainly right and proper to expose who they are, um, so that justice can be dealt with. But um, if a person is just expressing ideas and opinions, I think that it's important to allow them to do that. And one of the nice things about the internet is we have this space where we can do that. I think people can be, to some degree, a little more honest because of that. And I know for myself, I am on here as Guy, and obviously that's not my real name. But I'm a real person, and I know that I wouldn't like it if someone exposed who I am, and and not everybody has the luxury. I would like to be, um, out of the closet with my atheism, uh, but I don't have that luxury because I have other commitments and things, and and so I understand, and even if I don't understand exactly the reasons why other people want to be left anonymous, I'm going to respect their wishes because it's not something that has anything to do with me. It's their personal choice. Um, it I I specifically kind of want to call out Alex Botton and JD Kane and say you guys are kind of leaders in this community, and when you go around and um, call out people's real names and things when they are, it's their desire not to have their real name out there in public. I think it sets a really bad example for one thing. I think it's somewhat juvenile because it seems like you're really just only doing this because it's upsetting to these people. G-Man and Richard Raspberry, and maybe others as well. I don't know, but and then what seems to me to be worse is how everybody kind of jumps in. It seems like the majority, or at least a significant amount of us, kind of are jumping in, and it just reminds me of kind of playground attitudes where you find something that bothers someone, and then you're going to harass them about it and just keep kind of throwing it in their face. Obviously, G-Man unintentionally um, exposed his real identity, and uh, you know it, Alex has said, or maybe it was JD Kane, once it's out there, it's out there, but that's not necessarily true. Something uh, that happens once on the internet can be erased, and even though there are a lot of people who may know it, if we would be courteous and kind, uh, it could fade from memory and wouldn't necessarily be out there all the time for everyone to know. But when you constantly rehash it and put it up there, um, it's going to stay. And there are enough kind of crazy people out there in the real world, who could use information like that to go out and cause harm to someone. And I know that if I was involved with releasing someone's personal information on the internet, um, and some crazy person went out and beat them up or harmed them in some way, I would feel partially culpable. Obviously, not culpable for the direct harm, but for kind of the vehicle, the information that allowed that person to go out and harm someone that they disliked on the internet. And there are crazy, obnoxious people who are out there. Uh, and you know, I think it does harm to the cause of advancing um, reason and rational discourse. If we are trying to be on kind of the higher ground and say we're on the side of reason, we are on the side of rationality, and we are invested in uh, you know truth and morality, and we are willing to criticize the morality of others. I think that we, as a community, uh, need to kind of up our game and really be respectful. There was a teacher that I had who had two classroom rules, and I think of all of the teachers that I had who had classroom rules, his were the best, and they were just a really excellent standard. He said that if you are in my classroom, you will conduct yourselves with mutual respect and common courtesy, and I think those are just two great rules for engaging in communications and conducting ourselves just in general. Um, and I think we also uh, kind of play into the narrative that Christians want to put onto us as atheists, that we are, in some cases, cruel or um, cold and don't care about other people, that we have no morality and things. Uh, for me, I know that if it's something that I wouldn't like done to me, then I'm not going to do it to other people, and uh, I think that that's a good standard to hold. And I know that I wouldn't like to have information, personal information about me, uh, kind of plastered and blasted all over the internet by someone else, and I certainly wouldn't do that to other people. So I guess my challenge is, if you think that you have a good moral structure, uh, how does this fit into it? You know, are you are you really um, treating G-Man and other people uh, with the full kind of respect and human dignity that you think all people should be given? And certainly G-Man has said some bad things. He has conducted himself in ways that are obviously uh, not the on the highest level themselves. He's I think he's been dishonest. I think he's kind of lacks intelligence that a lot of people who are engaged here are blessed with. And but that, to me, that means all the more that we should extend him some extra, I guess, space, and say we're the bigger person, um, or I'm the bigger person, and I'm not going to engage in the same kind of tactics and rhetoric and attacks that G-Man and some of these others, thick shades and the like. So that's really all I had to say on this matter. Um, I think that we can do better, and I implore the rest of you in the community, both atheists and Christians alike, to conduct yourselves in ways that are respectful of the other person's personal rights and dignity. And um, I, like I said, that's really all I have to say. Thanks for listening and watching, and um, I I'll be back in the next couple of days. I'm in conversations with my brother, we may be doing a video where we discuss the recent passing of our mom, and just reflections on that passing as atheists, dealing with grief, and then also interacting. Our family is very religious, and so we've had some experience in dealing with them in ways that we haven't been in the past. Uh, just this is really the first uh, kind of significant death. There was another a grandfather passed, and he was kind of elderly. I think he was 89 at the time. Um, but this was for me and my brother. I think the closest and most significant relative that we was very close to us, who's passed away, and so it was just a different experience. But we'll hopefully be talking about that in the coming days. Keep an eye on my channel. Um, and if you have any input or insights, please share them in the comments below. That's all I have. Thanks. Take care.